CMSportsNet is made possible by Genova's To Go and by Carroll Lynx.
Hi there, I'm Pat Stoetzer, and welcome to episode 7 of Game On, where we've got you covered on all things Carroll County high school sports. Hard to believe the fall regular season is winding down, but we've got big matchups on the horizon. Soccer county titles are up for grabs, and football gets set for week 7. We've got highlights and previews on the way, plus the latest athlete of the week. All right, let's go. It's Game On. Manchester Valley hosts Francis Scott Key in week 7, and CMSportsNet will have the game for you on Friday, October 13th as our football game of the week. Man Valley is 3-3 and wants a second straight win for the first time in 2023. FSK, on the other hand, got a win after an 0-4 start, but lost last week against Westminster. Join me and Mike Krause with our pregame show that starts at 6:15, followed by kickoff at 6:30 from Manchester Valley High School. We're going to take a look at football results from week 6, and let's start with the CMSportsNet Game of the Week from last Friday, when Winters Mill hosted South Carroll in a game that turned into a nail-biter.
Winters Mill hosted South Carroll on Friday, October 6th in Carroll County Athletic League Week 6 football action, with the unbeaten Falcons wanting to extend their program best start and the Cavaliers going after their first win of the season. The Falcons start on the ground in a big way. Here's senior Paris Lee to cap the opening drive with a 19-yard touchdown run. Camden Cook's PAT makes it 7-0 for the home team. Winters Mill's running game is on point early. Malachi Denning takes it in from 14 yards out, and another Cook point after makes it 14-0. Winters Mill is taking control early, and now the defense comes up big as Dallas Poole snags a tip pass from SC quarterback Caleb Evans for the interception. Here comes another deflection. Tommy Hinkhouse gets a hand up to tip Evans' pass and brings it in himself for another pick. The Falcons are rolling. And they add 3 more points right before the half when Cook drills a 39-yard field goal. Winters Mill 17, South Carroll 0.
And that's going to end the half, ladies and gentlemen.
The Cavaliers are not giving up. Right after the offense turns the ball over, the defense wipes it away. A bad snap, and Falcons QB Caleb Krause cannot corral the ball, so junior Cutter Stanton finds it in the end zone for a South Carroll touchdown. A kick from Cannon Hunter makes it 17-7. It stays that way until the final minutes. The Cavs face a 4th and 7, but Evans finds Braden Yeager for the touchdown. And now it's 17-14 with 64 seconds to go. Despite failing to get the onside kick, South Carroll gets the ball back and benefits from a face mask penalty to start with good field position. Then, Evans finds Ian Straley on this play to stop the clock and move the ball into potential field goal range. A few plays later, Hunter trots out to attempt a 40-yard field goal, and the kick is pure. South Carroll forces overtime and ties the game at 17-all. The Cavaliers win the toss and elect to play defense first, so Winters Mill's offense gets the first crack. 2 plays later, it's Crouch to Nico Baez for a 6-yard strike. Cook's PAT puts Winters Mill up by 7, 24-17.
Nico Baez.
The Cavaliers get a shot, but on 4th down from the 11, it's Paris Lee with a sack to seal it.
Paris Lee with the sack. And that's
The final score is Winters Mill 24, South Carroll 17. Caleb Evans throws for more than 150 yards for the Cavaliers, who fall to 0-6, 0-3 in the county. Paris Lee leads the Winters Mill ground attack that collects 176 rushing yards, and the Falcons move to 6-0, 4-0 in the CCAL.
Westminster won big behind 3 passing touchdowns from quarterback Kyrese Walker, and Man Valley got a pair of rushing TDs from Jacob Reitz to spoil Century's homecoming. Liberty came back with a nice win against Hedgesville as QB Chase Miller had a touchdown run and a touchdown pass. Checking the football county standings now, Winters Mill and Westminster remain unbeaten in Carroll County Athletic League play. Liberty still has the one loss in county, and the Lions have Carroll opponents the rest of the way. Century and South Carroll remain winless in CCAL action. Like we said, we've got FSK at Man Valley in Week 7 for the CMSportsNet Football Game of the Week. Join me and Mike Kraus for pregame coverage at 6:15, followed by kickoff at 6:30. Now let's get into our Game of the Week preview, and we begin with Francis Scott Key. Ben Stevens rushed for a touchdown last week for FSK, and the Eagles got a pair of sacks from Jacob Dell on defense, but they couldn't keep pace with Westminster and they lost. Still, Key has run the ball well, led by seniors Keandre Grooms and Stevens and junior Jermaine Dawson. Over to Manchester Valley now, where the Mavericks average close to 150 yards per game on the ground, led by seniors Isaiah Farabee and Kingston Canby. Quarterback Gene Magan owns a completion percentage of 55.2 with 5 TD passes, and senior Anthony Hesselbein has 5 sacks on the season. You can see in our team stats matchup that FSK stays in most of its games so far this season, but the offense has reached double digits in the game just once. Man Valley is getting set for its 3rd home game of the year and scored 28 points the last time they played in Manchester. Let's check in with the primary running backs for each team ahead of Friday's matchup between the Eagles and the Mavericks. Senior Keandre Grooms, who came over to Key from Westminster, is closing in on 400 rushing yards for the season. Grooms has 4 touchdowns on the ground for the Eagles. Mavs senior Isaiah Farabee averages 4.8 yards per carry and runs for 84 yards per game to go with 2 touchdowns this fall. Now it's time to hear from both coaches as they get their teams ready to face off this week. First up is FSK coach David Cunningham, who once again has a bit of a personal tie to this week's matchup. Let's listen in.
Coach, we are into Week 7, as hard as that is to probably believe. It goes fast, but progress is being made every week. How have you seen your guys progress from the first week of the season to now as the season, regular season winds down?
I think we've been sticking in games, but a lot of our problem is, we're shooting ourselves in the foot in the long stretch, with penalties or, we get in the red zone and we just don't, finish the job. But the fact that the kids are continuing to stay locked in and, this, like I tell you all the time, this county is extremely tough. There's a lot of great teams, great coaches and everything. So we're just looking to continue to keep striving and keep competing.
You saw them you've seen them do that lately. You like what you saw a couple weeks ago, maybe a little stumble last week again. You told me good Westminster team. What has to go well for you guys this week to compete against a good Man Valley team?
We had to control the run. They have a big offensive line. Coach Kuntz is, he was my lineman coach, so I already know what to expect then. We just got to control the gaps. We shut the gaps down. We got to stop number 14. He's a great back, and also one of my old guys I had here, Kingston Canby, that carries the rock pretty well. So we just got to stay in there, control our gaps, and offensively, we got to move the ball. We got to move the ball, and, we got to attack early and, control the line of scrimmage completely.
You already faced Coach Miller, your old head coach, now going up against Coach Kuntz.
Yeah.
You've done it before, but just bring a little extra something special to a game like this, just because you go back and see the guys that you remember, being a player for.
Yeah, it's a great thing, man. Seeing them, and I don't know if they feel old, but they're great coaches. I try to model myself after Coach Miller and Coach Kuntz, and even when I first got the job, they were the first 2 to call me along with Basler and give me great advice. So I'm just looking to make longevity like them and continue to do what I can do.
Thanks to Coach Cunningham for spending some time with us. All right, let's move over to Manchester Valley and hear from Bernie Kuntz as the Mavs appeared to be getting a little healthier down the stretch.
Coach, how have you seen the offense make some strides in the last few weeks? I know it's been win-loss, but the points have started to come, pretty well for you guys.
Yeah, the kids are doing a good job. We just need to be a little bit more consistent. That's what we were talking about today during film of, we'll put together a drive, but then we can't have plays that are killing the drive or putting us behind the sticks and things like that. So they are starting to become a little bit more consistent, but be a better team and take those next steps. We need to be a little bit more consistent with who we're blocking, when we're blocking, and just executing from snap to whistle so that we can keep drives going. I've been picking things up. Some kids have come along the last couple weeks. James has made some plays. Braden made some plays this past week, which helped as another addition offensively. Isaiah and King, and with the addition of Jacob Reitz this week, they gave us another running back. So we're getting a couple more weapons and things of that nature. So it's helpful that spreading out the wealth and not being able to focus on one person.
going up against FSK and a former lineman of yours when you were at Winters Mill and Coach Cunningham. We talked to him just about how it's fun to have these relationships between the coaches, but does it make it a little more special when you know the guy pretty well across the other side when you're trying to get a win against him?
Yeah, well, it's always good to know that, alumni and people like that, people that you've had a relationship with that, are coming along and are giving back to the game and staying involved, and that's great. David's a good guy, doing a good job out there. Kids are seem to be playing consistent and buying into what's going on, and hopefully they just don't get on the right track this week, but wish him well on every game but the nights that we're playing each other.
Right. Last thing, you guys both run the ball effectively. The keys to winning this game for you guys are what?
I think sustaining drives. We need to make sure that we take care of drives, don't shoot ourselves in the foot. Defensively has been playing well. Again, minimize getting the ball back, getting off the field, and again, stopping their run game. Again, different formations that they've shown and things like that, is going to be a key to the game. I think stopping their run game and us being able to continue drives.
Thanks to Bernie Coons for the visit. And don't forget to tune in this Friday as we give you Francis Scott Key and Manchester Valley in the CMSportsNet Game of the Week. Mike Kraus joins me in the booth for the broadcast. Our pregame coverage starts at 6:15 and kickoff is set for 6:30. Now let's take a look at the rest of the Week 7 schedule for Carroll County football. Westminster hosts Century on October 13th at Ruby Field, and South Carroll gets Liberty at Parker Field in their annual rivalry game. That one went down to the wire in 2022. Winters Mill has winless Springbrook in the 4th of 4 straight home games for the Falcons. Check in with CMSportsNet for scores and highlights in the coming days as the football regular season has 3 games to go. When we come back, we'll see if the Soccer County Championships have been decided, and we'll check in with some Carroll Lynx fall sports results, plus the latest Athlete of the Week selection. So don't go away. Game On will return in just a moment.
Go. Pizza, pasta, subs, and more. Fresh hot pizza right from the oven. Genova's to go. A mouth-watering cheesesteak just off the grill. Genova's to go. Fresh baked bread and plump wings seconds from the fryer. Genova's to go. Genova's to go carry-out, delivery, mobile device, and online ordering is available at all locations. Westminster, Hampstead, Manchester, and our newest dining room in Eldersburg for lunch, dinner, or any time in between. Genova's to go.
Hey there, I'm Pat Stoetzer.
And I'm Michael Duffy, inviting you to join us for The Score and more.
Each week we'll talk about high school sports in Carroll County. We'll share information about upcoming games, highlight coaches and athletes, and much more.
We'll even try to have a little fun along the way. Don't miss the Score and More podcast presented by CMSportsNet.
The Score and More Sports Podcast is available online at carrollmediacenter.org and on a variety of podcast channels.
Welcome back to Game On. We had 2 Monday night soccer games that determined Carroll County championships, one on the boys' side and one on the girls' side. Let's begin with the city rivalry boys clash between Westminster and Winters Mill. The Battle of the Birds from Big Mill, where the Owls look to win the CCAL crown for the first time in 7 years. A Falcons win would give Manchester Valley its first county title since 2018 based on tiebreaker criteria. Winters Mill forward Reed Postlethwaite sends a corner kick in from his sideline right into the hands of Westminster keeper Anthony McPeak. Here's an Owls throw in from the near corner, but Winters Mill goalie Drew Jenkins goes up, makes the save. No score midway through the first half. But that is about to change. The Falcons cannot clear the ball out of their zone, and sophomore B.J. Murray takes a shot that finds its way over the line. Westminster 1, Winters Mill 0. In the 31st minute, the visiting team celebrates. Postlethwaite's going to get behind the Owls' back row on this play right here. Use that speed, but McPeak comes out to make a big play, make it 2 big plays, and preserve the 1-0 lead late in the first half. Westminster about to pad the lead. Junior Will Donovan with the direct kick, and it's 2-0 for the visiting Owls, and that is the score at halftime. Another throw in from Westminster, and when Abbott Houle finds the ball at his feet after a couple of bounces, the junior is going to tuck a shot into the corner of the net right here. Owls 3, Falcons 0 early in the second half, and Westminster is poised to get that county title. Winters Mill trying to avoid the shutout, and midfielder Daniel Sanko gets off a shot right here, and the ball is going to get gobbled up by McPeak. The Owls blank their rivals 3-0, and in doing so, claim the Carroll County Championship. Westminster rebounds after a 4-0 loss to Century last week to finish 5-1 against county teams, and their head-to-head tiebreaker win over Man Valley gives the Owls their first county championship since 2016. Manchester Valley got to 5-1 in county play with that 2-1 overtime win against South Carroll, you see right there, but the Cavaliers snapped a 6-game losing skid with their victory against Francis Scott Key. Century's been up and down against county teams, but they did knock off the eventual county champs last week, as we see here. Time for some upcoming matchups. And you can see it's mostly non-county games the rest of the way. We do see Westminster has a home game coming up Monday against Delaney, and not on the board, but a big game, Liberty and Century are facing off tonight at Liberty High School. On to the Carroll County Athletic League standings. As we have said, Westminster is your county champ at 5-1, thanks in part to the Owls' win over Man Valley from earlier this fall. Liberty and South Carroll still have a game on the calendar. That one's set for October 19th at Parker Field. Now let's shift over to girls soccer and check in with Liberty and Century from Eldersburg. Yet another rivalry matchup here late in the fall. Liberty trying to win the county title for the first time since 2001. Meanwhile, Century won last year's game between the Lions and Knights 6-1 en route to a county championship. The Knights had this early chance to score, but Century's going to lose its footing, and Liberty's going to come up with a goal kick. Tough sledding there early on. Century lines up a corner kick from the far side this time, but Lions goalkeeper Maddie Smith grabs the loose ball for a save. Still scoreless midway through the first half. The Knights get another run late in the first half here, but check out this nice defensive play from the Lions. The ball is kicked out over the end line, and there's no score at the break. Another Century corner kick from the far side this time, and another stop from Maddie Smith with a little bit of help from her Lions teammates. The Knights finally break through, and Bella Cosio sends a great through ball to Harley Hamlet, and the senior finds the net. Century 1, Liberty 0 into the second half. The home team scores first. Midway through the half, Liberty sophomore Bryce Sarver is going to send a kick in toward the goal that deflects off of a Century player and into the net. The Lions draw even at 1-1. Opportunistic goal there for Liberty. Time running out in regulation, and Century gets a good look from the top of the box, but Sophia Taylor's shot goes wide right. Still tied at 1 apiece. Double overtime now, and Century sends in yet another corner, but the Knights cannot get a foot on it, and Liberty stays alive. That's it from Eldersburg, and it's a 1-1 tie between the Lions and Knights after 100 minutes of play. Century stays unbeaten in the CCAL and therefore wins the county championship for a 5th straight season. Liberty can finish with a 5-1 county record by beating South Carroll, another rival, on October 19th. Let's look at some recent girls soccer results, and you can see how Century wrapped up the county title by beating Westminster and drawing with Liberty. South Carroll's win over FSK gave the Cavaliers a 4th straight win. Man Valley and Francis Scott Key have non-county home games coming up next week, and Century visits River Hill in a big inter-county clash, the Hawks, one of the top teams in the metro area. Plus, like I said, we have Liberty and South Carroll on October 19th in Eldersburg. All right, time to see the Carroll County Athletic League standings for girls soccer. Century added a tie but finished unbeaten in the county. The Knights haven't lost a game since September 12th. Liberty and SC will battle for second place when those rivals meet next week. Over to college sports now as we check in with the Carroll Lynx. The volleyball team ended a 5-match losing streak by sweeping Westmoreland, and they added another W with a 3-0 victory over Baltimore City Community College. Carly Badorf and Maria Akaran had 8 kills each for Carroll, and the Lynx improved to 6-7 on the season. Men's soccer fell short in their final home game of the fall. Carroll has men's soccer road games coming up against West Virginia U, Potomac State, and a Saturday match at Frederick is on tap as well. Volleyball heads to Howard on Thursday at 7 p.m. All right, time for the latest CMSportsNet Athlete of the Week, and we recognize the football player who helped his team win in multiple ways. This junior snagged a long touchdown and connected on several big kicks last week. Let's find out who earned Athlete of the Week.
This week's CMSportsNet Athlete of the Week, Braden Fritz, Manchester Valley football. Braden, big day, kicking the ball, also caught a touchdown. Tell me about that. They're using you as on all sides of the ball, all phases. How's the preparation for you when it comes to something like that, knowing that you play receiver and you also kick and play some defense too? Is there any extra preparation that goes into it every week?
It's just pretty much pregame, getting a lot of kicks in, getting reps, and getting mentally right to be on all sides of the ball and make plays out there. Before games, I like to come up here and kick before the bus leaves, and it's an important part of it.
You told me before we started this that you were kicking off the grass. Usually you guys kick off the block, the T block. How did that change things when you found out no block and you have to go, all natural right off the grass?
You got to handle adversity and find a way to deal with what you got, and made it happen, and it worked, and it was fine.
You guys scored on the fluke flicker play there, and you got behind Century's defense. What does that do for the offense when you can execute a play like that? It gives you a big catch, but also lifts everybody's spirits, I would think.
It's just a lot of momentum, and just gets the team going. And I wasn't the first read, but line had a good time to block, and Gene had time to find me and get me down the field, and had room to work.
Now, you're not the first Fritz to kick here in Man Valley. Your older brother was a good kicker here and kicks in college now too. How much do you learn from him and lean on him? And when you guys talk about kicking and placement and all kinds of stuff, how much of that communication goes on?
It's nice to have a mentor, and he tells me what I need to do, how to change things, and my steps. It's a big part of it. It's just repetition and keep getting practice in. It's good to work with him and be under his shoes a little bit.
All right, congrats on a great week last week. Good luck the rest of the season. Braden Fritz, this week's CMSportsNet Athlete of the Week.
CMSportsNet's Athlete of the Week is brought to you in part by Barnes Bollinger Insurance Services and by Genova's To Go.
Congratulations to Manchester Valley's Braden Fritz, the latest CMSportsNet Athlete of the Week. And that's going to do it for another episode of Game On. As always, thank you for watching. Be sure to check out the next football game of the week on Friday, October 13th, when Manchester Valley welcomes Francis Scott Key. Our pregame coverage begins at 6:15 and kickoff is set for 6:30. You won't want to miss it. Be sure to catch all of our high school sports content online on Facebook and YouTube, as well as our website at carrollmediacenter.org. And you can watch us on cable channel HD 1086. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you next time.